I want their leader brought here. I want him brought to me. I want the revolution crushed.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mamluks. My name is Sim. Along with me are my trusty co-host Sheikh Amer.
Assalamu alaikum.
And the one and only Sheikh Omar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Please do us a favor and hit like and throw a comment section in the comment section below. And if you are so kind, help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks. We thrive, or we are supported by your efforts, your contributions. We do not make any money off of from YouTube. Completely demonetized channel. Please. Miskeen.
Just keep it at that.
Miskeen.
Just keep it at
Just
that.
give it. Miskeen. You throw some money. You don't even look at our face. Don't make eye contact with us. Just miskeen.
Don't even look at your hand when you give it.
Just go like that. Brothers and sisters, we have a wonderful show for you guys. There's a lot of items happening in the news. We have the whole 20-point peace plan that's been presented by Donald Trump. It looks like he pulled Bibi Netanyahu by the ear and he said, "Come to the White House. This needs to end." At least that's what it's being made to look like.
The outwardly gruesome war has to end.
Yes.
That's what actually visually has to end. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. It's so we're gonna go through the peace plan first, and talk about a bit about what that entails and how that affects the people of Gaza. It does cover a lot of the things that the leaders of Gaza, the Hamas, wanted. They wanted some of these items that were included from previous agreements. So it did include those. We're going to go ahead and go through each one of these one by one. So let me just pull this up on my screen here. One sec.
And while you're pulling that up, I think just a good underpinning to research is the ISF, who's supposed to be the one that IDF is handing over Project Gaza to, is going to be responsible. They're supposed to be taking over what the IDF is doing, as IDF is supposed to, quote unquote, withdraw from Palestine, from Gaza. And the ISF, who is made up of a cohort of cooperative people from the Arab countries, surrounding Arab countries, and Israel, to make sure that everything goes as planned in the peace plan. So the ISF is now delegated. They're going to be replacing the IDF. Just keep that in mind while we're going through all these points.
Yeah.
Because all these points are going to clarify what this ISF actually is.
Yeah. So the first point is through the immediate ceasefire agreement. So the war basically would end if both parties agree to these terms. All right. So the first term being that Hamas releases the 20 living hostages and the remains of the deceased ones within 72 hours. Israel withdraws forces to the agreed lines, and which are then phased over to an interim security force. In exchange, Israel releases 250 Palestinian life sentence prisoners, 1,700 Gazans detained post October 7th, including all women and children, and remains of 15 deceased Gazans per Israeli hostage remains returned. Regarding the humanitarian aid and access of things, full unrestricted aid influx immediately upon agreement matching January 19th, 2025 levels, including infrastructure, rehab, water, electricity, sewage, hospitals, and rubbish removal. Distributed via UN, Red Crescent, and neutral international bodies Rafah crossing opens bidirectionally without interference. So that was important because it seemed like Israeli was going to close that off. Hamas surrenders all arms, disbands military and political rule, and vacates Gaza. Their leaders are granted amnesty and safe passage out.
Can you pause on that for 1 second? The wording is very interesting. All this is look what the caveat is that Hamas vacates Gaza, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, this could have been done. This same thing could have been done before.
Yeah.
Right? This 20-point plan.
Because they were ready to do it.
They were ready to do it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
If it was for their people, they say if it was for our people, we'd do it, right? As long as they vacate. Now the problem here is how are you going to prove they're going to vacate if you don't know who you're killing and who you're not?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it says they have to vacate. It says they can. They're free to go somewhere if they want, or they can stay there as long as they give up their weapons. They're gonna be granted amnesty. It doesn't say they have to leave.
Oh, they don't have to leave like the
No,
land.
no.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
This peace proposal has been put by the most generous people
Okay.
ever.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're looking out for the interests,
Okay.
in the interest of the
Okay.
Palestinians.
Okay, got it.
So don't lie about them.
Okay, I won't.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, give them so many
Yes.
excuses.
Please.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're saying I don't want to. Before
right.
you finish, I don't want to tangent.
I've read the document. Okay.
Yeah.
It says Hamas members who decommission their weapons get amnesty or safe passage abroad. They can remain there and continue remaining a productive member of the society if they want to.
Okay, so now here comes the interesting part. Gaza is governed by a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee, qualified Palestinians plus international experts, overseen by a new board of peace chaired by Trump, including figures like Tony Blair and others who are from the Palestinian Authority. Reforms per Trump's 20. Oh, so apparently he had like this plan in 2020 as well. Gaza becomes a de-radicalized, terror-free zone with no threat to neighbors. Trump economic development plan to rebuild as a thriving hub, a Riviera of the Middle East, drawing on Middle Eastern miracle cities expertise. Israeli security force takes over from the IDF. Progressively limited security perimeter remains until threats are eliminated. Whatever that means. That's such vague language.
So
right
ambiguous.
That means that they're going to be settling up a permanent force there. But they're just not going to be calling it the IDF. They're going to call it the ISF. No forced displacement. Palestinians can leave and return freely. Pathway to Palestinian statehood opposed by some Israeli hardliner. There's no description of that. It's just ambiguous. Attracts international investments for job hope, multi-year international commitment for oversight. So that's the long-term vision, at least. So apparently, in the beginning, everyone, all the Middle Eastern nations, Muslim countries, started applauding. MashaAllah, Trump, you did it. You figured out the solution. And they were applauding the plan, gave it a lot of backing and support to Trump's Trump's proposal. Qatar also did it too, right?
No,
Qatar didn't.
No, come on. There's the victims in this. Okay. They were recently bombed as well. So they said they're still examining it. And actually, they're so far as I know, I think they're the only ones who said that we need to discuss this more because there's a lot of ambiguity in here.
Yeah, she said that.
Yeah, they said that. So we have to give them credit. We are honest, okay? Not everyone is out there against the Muslims, okay? So what if they have the largest base, the U.S. base, that's being hosted in Doha? That's a different story. But, they're looking out in the interest of the Muslims. But, the summary of all of this, the 20 points, if whoever has gone through that, if you look at it, what it's calling for, there are some good things in there which gives hope for those who are looking to end the bloodshed. And that's what at the end of the day,
It stops right there, though. The bloodshed
yes,
aspect. Yeah.
that's what everyone wants, right? Muslims, non-Muslims, we want the killing to stop. Okay, fine. The killing is going to stop. What else is happening after that? They're giving up the weapons, complete demilitarization, everything. The government is going to be handed over to an international stabilization force. That's the ISF, chaired by the most apolitical person that I know, Donald Trump, along with Tony Blair, who's not a war criminal, by the way. Okay, I mean, where can you find more honest people than these? And they're gonna help them rebuild. Okay, and actually, one of the points it says that no one is going to be forced to leave Gaza. They can they encourage them to stay there and rebuild it, so that it can be better than before. That all sounds good. Okay, so let's see what they're giving up. They're giving up everything. They're giving up authority. They're giving up the struggle. They're giving up all of that. Okay, in turn, what are they getting? What they're getting is, if after they've done all of this, these reforms pave the way for Palestinian self-determination and statehood. So you give up everything, then we gotta come to the point to see how we can establish the state that we stole from you in the first place.
It's so crazy.
Okay, so we're not even talking about. There's no pathway to state. There's no recognition. There's nothing.
It's not.
You give up everything, then we can talk about. So basically, this is not any different than the sham that was there of the two-state solution. Okay, this is that same concept repackaged, rebranded, and being presented again.
That's exactly what it is. Rebranded. Occupation. Just make the occupation look very peaceful.
And the other two things that are not mentioned in here, they're just talking about Gaza. Okay, what about the rest of Palestine? West Bank is not mentioned in here at all. What about Masjid al-Aqsa? What about Jerusalem? What about all those things? No one is even talking about that. And this 20-point plan was given to the Palestinians after these guys announced it, meaning they had no input in any of this.
Yep.
So basically, they said you have 3 to 4 days to respond to this, and if you don't respond in a positive manner, they'll be held to pay. Basically, I don't know what else is left there to pay, because I don't know what's left to bomb and destroy.
In an occupation, we have to keep reminding ourselves, in an occupation, right? And it's as if, for me, when I saw this, it's a great point that nobody talked about West Bank. It's as if, since the whole world is talking about Gaza, Netanyahu, just on a two-part, we'll talk about how he's a war criminal, and then the Israeli community doesn't like him anymore. He's losing all his popularity. So that's on the negative portion. Gaza, everything's going to become peaceful now, while everything else is continuing, right? So it's as if they're just giving a small little bone, but they're going to continue everywhere else. And that's just on the face value. This whole ISF thing is so shady.
One second. Okay, go ahead.
No. So, I was just saying the entire way that the whole 20 points is framed as, be grateful you're getting all this.
Yes.
You should be so thankful that you're going to get water now and food and
good domesticated animal.
And after we bombed every single thing that you can ever possess, everything's been obliterated.
Yeah. Hospitals and schools.
We're building a Riviera there.
We've starved the children. We've killed them.
It's like the repayments of Riviera.
So, but the next layer of the way they framed it is really to make Hamas look like the bad guys if they reject this, because it makes them look like, oh, you're rejecting it because you're not going to be in power. Because what happens is Hamas, even let's just say, they're looking out for the best interests of Gaza, of the future, right?
Yeah.
What happened? How do you explain to people that, hey, these people are going to come in with their peace forces and stuff like that, and they're going to reprogram your population to be like more subservient, more understanding of the occupation, be sympathetic towards your oppressor. You know, because that's what happens when you effectively give up control. These outside actors come in, and what do? They start teaching or planting the roots of subjugation. How? Through the education system. That's how the British did it. What Israel is doing is almost copy of what the British did. They're doing it in a more extreme manner, but the flotilla that's come today and got blocked by Israel, right? Guess who did that to Ireland? The British. The Ottomans were sending ships to Ireland, and they're like, "Hey, you're making us look bad. We're not allowing your ships to enter anymore." Look it up. So they effectively prevented aid from coming in because of their occupation. When you hear about the famine of Ireland and stuff, this was famine. You think, oh, the crops aren't growing. There's a problem with the environment. Mother Nature has shifted course. No, it was a famine based on the stranglehold that the British put on the Irish. Wow. And so this is when you hear about that's why I hated the term famine. There's a famine in Gaza because people think about famine as if it's like, oh, crops aren't growing because of the environment. You know, like that term is something I detest. It's an imposed famine. It's been bombed to oblivion. There's no food there. There's no aid coming in. So that's why. Well, that's a big problem with just the term famine, right? But now, what do you do? The British also took education systems from everywhere, from Indonesia to Ireland. Every single place, they started implementing their education system in there. Sorry, I meant India.
No, so this is what I think Donald Trump is talking about. I think this is gonna ring you to
but what I was saying is that how does Hamas tell their people this? That hey, look, this is not about us being in power. They're talking to people who are starving, who've lost everything, and how do you tell your people that hey, look, right now, yeah, it looks like a nice deal. We're going to get our food back and we're going to have opportunity again to live as human beings again, but this comes with all this other package,
and they can't think about that right
they
now.
Can't think about that right now because you're thinking about,
they're gonna be like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
You know how much we've died. It doesn't make sense to somebody who can't live.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, no, we got to survive now. Forget it.
Just like, anyone who's a parent who's trying to tell their kid like, hey, why don't you turn off the TV or skip TV tonight and study, like, hey, like, because you were thinking about their future, right? But the kid's like, I already worked hard all day and I did everything I'm supposed to, and I'm supposed to be rewarded with some TV time in the evening. I can play some video games or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is so what the human mind won't. They know they put them into an impossible situation, and I honestly think that Hamas will accept this.
I think they're going to have to.
You know, I think one of you mentioned about reprogramming and retraining the society. That's also part of this peace process, or this 20-point plan, because one of the points specifically mentions the following. And this is, I think, one of the things that they've been lacking for the past 75 years of occupation. If they had this, they would not be where they are today.
I gotta see this one.
Okay. An interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. This is what they were missing.
Wow, there's so many levels of this, man. There's so many layers to this one point.
They're not even trying to hide it. They're telling you the goal is to change mindsets and narratives by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace.
But not only that, they're coming in within this. What's embedded within this is they're trying to show everybody that they've always wanted peace and they don't like intolerance. And they were driven to do this. Netanyahu, this shaitan, is trying to drive that we're driven to do this. See, look at these points. We've always wanted peace. We just are against intolerance. This is just an intolerant population, so they have to be subjugated to this. This is crazy, bro. I can't believe I missed that point. That's crazy.
And you asked about Qatar. So they said that the details on some of the points, specifically the process of Israel's withdrawal and makeup of a future Palestinian administration, will need to be clarified and negotiated. They said this. The plan sets no schedule or clear standards for Israel's withdrawal and vaguely gives Israel the right to hold on to a security perimeter until the territory is properly secured.
Damn, but how many days are going to take? There's only 3 days for this thing now. It's only 72 hours.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They're negotiating. Meanwhile, there was a also an executive order that was issued. I think I believe today, which guarantees Qatar security after the attack. So they
Attack on Qatar is attack on America, basically.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mutual defense agreement.
Yeah.
yes.
That's exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
cute.
And I
Why
think
wasn't that there before? If they're hosting 10,000 of their troops.
You'd think, right, after you've given them a friggin' jet plane, a new Air Force One, effectively, as a cherry on top of the hundreds of billions you've already given to America.
Dude, do you know why? I know this is a little bit of a tangent. You know why truth is so important? Because the people who are pushing this bill, they all know this is BS. And the people who are actually paying attention and on the other side of the bill, who are against the occupation,
you mean
know this BS.
bill? Or you mean the 20-point plan?
The 20-point plan.
Yeah.
The people who are pushing this 20-point plan, they know they just have to do it because it's their team's doing it. They know it's not the truth.
Yeah.
So all of this is just for the sake of power, and it doesn't. When you try to get in a moral argument with these people, there's no moral argument with these people. Anything you say, just their hospital points are going to be regurgitated, and they're going to talk about whatever they have to talk about, just so they can prove their point. They don't care about the truth. None of these people care about the truth.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this is a sham. Everybody knows the BS, right? That's what's very troubling about this, is that there's the leaders of the free world are leading this 20-point plan, even this past 75 years with Palestine. But it's all none of it has to do with like truth. It's all just people's feelings. That's all it is, and that's why it's so crazy. That's why there's some people, man, you just can't negotiate with them. That's the problem.
So are you saying this peace plan is not in any sincerity?
I think peace plan is a deceptive title for this 20-point plan.
Why would Tony Blair give up the comfortable life that he's living in and put his neck on the line and try to get involved in this again?
That is so crazy. No, I'm going to talk about that because I know you're being beautifully sarcastic, but why Tony Blair out of all people? What do you think happened in the back end where he comes out of the woodwork? What is he shining? Like, everybody forgot about him. Yeah. Why is he back now?
He wants to atone for the sins his forefathers committed when they established the state. Okay?
No, I'm trying to find, when I keep hearing this Tony Blair thing, I'm like, why him out of all people? What does he have to do? What's in the woodworks for this guy? What's in the workings for this guy? What did he have to do? And what was the rationale behind that decision? Did you guys ever
that was such an interesting name to choose, and I don't know, like did you just throw a bunch of names in your hat and Tony Blair showed up? Like, how did you come up on this guy? There's like
something had to happen.
There's chatter that happens in the background.
Yeah, of course.
These guys are all these countries are, they have, I don't want to call it secret societies, but they have something going on.
There's something going on, but also the relevancy thing. Like, why is he, like, when I first saw this, I said, what is the point of him being relevant again? Like, what is happening for him to be relevant again? Like, this is all about relevancy. He doesn't care about Gaza.
Yeah.
He cares about Riviera. What does Britain have to do? What does he have to do with this? So I just thought that was a little crazy, because everybody forgot about him. Is he trying to make people remember him again? Because everyone forgot about him? I don't know. But
no, he's specific. He's mentioned by name as part of this plan.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find rhyme to the reason. But
he's just a peace-loving person. He wants to.
So apparently, Blair was brought up because he successfully brokered the Good Friday Agreement in North Ireland in 1998. Where
oh my God, you were right.
Jeez. So that's why his name is brought up, where he can be a peacemaker for occupation.
This is so repetitive. Britain, what it did to Ireland, right? And now he was the peacemaker, and now he's they're just following the same exact thing. It's basically like Palestine is Ireland, Israel is Britain, and he's going to try to show his face up again.
Was he also the peacemaker during the Iraq invasion?
Oh, that's another story, bro. That's yeah, all this stuff just makes me sick.
So how do people escape or counteract this plan? Because let's say Hamas accepts a plan.
Yeah.
How does the resistance still live on? And that all depends on how well the people of Gaza are cultured and trained. The training of a people ultimately, whether it's Hamas today, it should be the same type of people leading the government. It should be the same kind of mindset, and that's ultimately the tarbiyah that they give, the teaching, the schooling, the how you raise your children, in your society, so that even if your name is gone, the core ideas, the core fundamentals of what your group was all about, or what your mission was all about as Palestinians was all about, that will be the ultimate test, right? So they can call it whatever they want, but ultimately, do the people of Palestine or Gaza have a right to choose who their leaders are? So that's what it's at right now, because they don't trust them to pick their own leaders, even after Hamas leaves.
Yeah, they don't
because they know that whoever they choose will just be the same people, not the exact same people, but similar mindset, people with the same type of thought, but with a different name. So that's why they're wanting a different group of people, Arabs from the secular states and stuff, taking control over there, changing the education program, de-radicalizing them,
but
doing interfaith ceremonies and stuff, and trying to get them to basically bend the knee.
Well, let's just say, and I think, I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a nihilist by this point, but I think, do you think this plan was set up because it's so ambiguous that it was made for failure? Like, do you think that it's even going to be possible to pull this off in 72 hours, even in a week? How's all this going to be undone in 72 hours? Like, what happens if they don't follow suit?
No, I don't think it's going to be. I think they'll get a response within 72 hours. I don't think it's a
satisfactory response, do you think?
No, I don't think.
Do you think Hamas is going to accept it?
I think they have.
I think they will.
I think they will negotiate it, okay? Because even if they want to accept it, they can't, because there's a lot of ambiguity in there that they need clarification on, okay? And for Qatar to say that is big. But then also, there's a new player that's joining the negotiation, which is Turkey. Turkey is officially joining the negotiation between Qatar and Hamas. So it's these three of us that are examining this and taking a look at this to see, what we can do with this. And it's interesting that Turkey is taking on this role now, which is previously did not, with the recent visit of Erdogan, having a good time with his friend here. And I don't know if you saw the meeting or not, but
wait, with the Mashara?
Huh? No, with Trump.
Oh, with Trump. Oh, yeah.
And Trump
Such
told
comedy, bro. Such comedy.
If you want to know how to rig an election, this guy knows.
Yeah, if you want to know about corruption, he knows about corruption.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of things that are happening in the background that we don't know about, but there's some.
But why would they give them? So negotiate or where? It doesn't really talk about what strength negotiations are going to have. Like, why would they listen to what Hamas and the Palestinians are going to be negotiating? Like, it doesn't seem like negotiations are even like a buffer to delay this this process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just seems like this is it, and you have 72 hours. That's what I got from it so far. And these including of all these powers, that's just, for me, again, maybe I'm just a nihilist, bro, but it's for me, it seems like, look, we tried everything we could.
Yeah.
Even Turkey got involved, who has been supportive of Gaza.
No,
and the Gazans didn't listen.
The Arab leaders, the Muslim leaders, really they don't have. I don't know what face they can show, because they're not even making an attempt to get clarification on some of these things, or even attempt to negotiate. This is great. We're on board with it. That's all they had to say. That's all they could say. We fully back this. I guarantee they probably don't even know what's the 20.
Do you think they say that because they want all the Muslim world and the public to say the same thing?
No, well, part of that, and I think they just want this to go away. Like, they just want this to end.
Yeah.
So they can continue their parties
Business,
and back to normal. This has been going on for 2 years. We've been dealing with this. Egypt is trying to have to suppress their population from uprising, and Jordan continues arresting the people. I mean, stop it. We got other things to do.
Yeah.
So this point is great. Just accept it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's another way of looking at it, I guess. But meanwhile, it's like all this focus on Gaza, man. I'm just worried about what the heck is happening in the West Bank throughout all this.
Well, the West Bank is.
It's like it gives them more. Sorry to cut you off. It buys them more time to do what they want in the West Bank and the settlements and everything like that.
Yeah, and the other thing this plan does not mention anything about is settlements. Are they going to continue? Are they going to be? Is there going to be any freeze on it?
That's what I'm saying.
It
West Bank
doesn't
is the settlements are such a big part of this.
It doesn't address the root cause and the root issue of why we are where we are today, which is the continued occupation.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about all these 20 things, 18 things you want to do, that you want the people who you're occupying, the people who are oppressed, you want them to do all of these things, agree to all of your demands, so you can come to now, let's think about maybe giving you your right.
Yeah. Back to zero. There's nothing. Yeah, so man, sometimes talking about
No, but also what's happening is they're dividing up two regions, right? They're dividing up Gaza and West Bank. They're separating each from each. So even though that's supposed to be the future Palestine, they're negotiating with them separately. What does that tell you? Because when you start creating separate agreements with and separate structures, a future Palestine, what is that? What does that even look like? A few spots of the West Bank that the Palestinian Authority controls. That's what Palestine is going to be. So, and Gaza will be under a military force.
Like it was for so many years.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
I mean, it's going to be a military force governed by other people, not even the Gazans.
No, I know.
So
this is even more different. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach, to be honest with you. But this is so important to talk about. But you think? Do you think? I mean, I wanted to ask you the question. Do you think? Do you think the Hamas will surrender or no?
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, I don't think they have much of a choice. But ultimately, man, whatever they choose, whatever the people of Gaza want, we have to get behind.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, they're the ones who are suffering, and no deal that will come from these people, these demons, Donald Trump and Netanyahu, will ever be a good deal.
Do you think that if this goes through, this is going to be like? What do you think people's morale is going to be? Okay, they finally brokered a deal, and it happened, and these idiots come out like the saviors of all this. But what do you think happens for people's understanding of resistance of this past 2 years? What happens? Do you think they'll eventually be desensitized because, like, finally Netanyahu's out in Gaza, there's no more violence? So do you think that kind of pacifies people?
No, I don't. I think people will. I think people have definitely woken up and seen the level of influence Zionism has over their society. You're seeing now, even the conservative, the neocons faction of the Republican Party rebelling against Zionism because of how they made Charlie Kirk's Turning Point organization, Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL, designated as a anti-Semitic organization. So they're turning on the Zionists as well.
Wasn't that crazy how what's his name, Ben Shapiro was hard against these guys, against the whole Crisis King and Charlie Kirk, and he's a guest on Turning Point USA now.
Yeah.
This is so crazy how hard they're working on the
I'm
refinement.
surprised with his wife.
She's all in this. I think she's caught up in all of this.
Oh my god!
Did you see her lifestyle and like what she was before and what she became? And
dude,
she's totally bought out by Israel, bro. That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah,
people mourn different ways.
Of course they do.
It's a mourning process.
I thought I was the only one that saw it. There's a whole genre on YouTube that's talking about her horrible acting skills.
Dude, I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? Like,
no, bro.
This guy, Charlie, was married to a demon, dude. Like,
he was.
I would be so shocked if that was my wife up there in the president's arms crying or pretending to be crying. I didn't even see any tears.
No, her tears are really fake, yeah. And like, oh no, she had lots of plastic surgery, so her facial expressions are not like everybody else. Like, shut up, dude. That really? You could still act. People genuinely know what crying is. People genuinely know what good acting is. Especially someone that's mourning. That acting job that she did and her coaches, I can't believe they let her go out there and talk in front of the world, bro. It just shows how Turning Point USA just got hijacked, and it's an Israel project now. Yeah. It's an Israel propaganda project now.
The challenge, at least what gives them, at least from the Zionist perspective, is that this gives them a way to scale back, assess how they want to move forward,
Exactly.
how they want to control more media, more social media, more censoring of platforms like they're doing currently with TikTok. And because right now they're just getting hammered all over. Like, you cannot even keep up with the algorithms and all the manipulation you're trying to do. It's not working.
Yep. And
People
TikTok, how do
hate
you do it? How do you work with it? Have Larry Ellison buy it out. He gives Israel, just in one day, $16 million. He takes over TikTok, controls ABC News, starts, sinking his talons back into the Murdochs are on board with this now. The ones who have like Sky News and Fox News and talk with Piers Morgan, whatever else they own, who have a really strong hand in Zionism. This is like a really, really strong attempt for Israel to rebrand themselves. They're trying really hard.
No, not everything is bad news when it comes to the TikTok deal, because alhamdulillah we have the royal family from Abu Dhabi who is also part of this
Really?
purchasing team. 15% they're buying.
Wow! So they can help control the
They'll
content.
help us.
The content that goes into the Middle East, they can control that
Yes.
portion. Yes.
Yes.
I see.
It's a form of dawah.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Oh man, I feel bad for those morons who listen to Shahid Bolson. Shahid Bull. That's what his name should be.
I haven't heard him in like a year. What's he up to?
Hopefully.
No, put all
an
your biases
investor in
aside. I know
TikTok.
y'all got some beef. Well, what's going on? Honestly, what's going on?
I don't have a beef. It's just he's full of crap.
I know.
There's
That's
no
what I mean.
beef happening.
No, I mean,
It's
forget
just full
that.
of
Forget
crap.
that you having major disagreements of how he conducts.
You should too. What do you mean?
I don't-
What are you blaming?
No,
this?
the reason is I don't really watch him. I've watched his original clips when he first came out like 4 years ago, and I thought they were kind of cool, like the production of it. And I watched like 5 of
What,
his
him
clips.
ripping off Malcolm X?
Yeah,
And the way how he talks?
No, he does. Dude, it was a great job. He's much better actor than Charlie Kirk's wife. Okay,
He's
but-
more Malcolm X than Denzel, bro.
That's true, and he's white. So no. What's the deal with him though? What's happening? What's he saying now?
I
honestly
no,
don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't pay
honestly
attention to
don't
him.
know. Okay.
I just know he's one of these guys who always makes excuses. He uses this framework called realpolitik, where you just kind of work with what you have. Like, this is where our situation is, and we just got to do the best we can. Lick the boots harder and make sure that Qatar and UAE and everyone is working. It's all the Muslim Brotherhood's fault. That's how they kind of frame it. They say, like, if it wasn't for the Muslim Brotherhood, we would have been, all the way. We would have been like the United Arab States. So we would have been like USA, but Arab. Like
Slaves,
that.
yeah, more
so
slaves,
that's
yeah.
that's how these bootlickers envisioned the Middle East. That this was all the Muslim Brotherhood and the Islamic revivers' faults. That the people, if they didn't want Islam so bad, we would have been completely, a modern, completely developed society
Fully evolved.
with our nuclear weapons too. That's what the Muslim Brotherhood took away from us.
Nice.
So this is the stupidity you're dealing with with these morons. Damn. They're so stupid. Wallahi, it's so stupid. shit. Wallahi, shit.
Wallahi.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes, bro.
Here we go. Just say it, bro. Just say it.
No,
Don't
I
hesitate
just
to
think
say it.
I'm the haywan, bro. Sometimes, why do I always have? Why do I have faith in these people to do anything? Like why do I ever trust these guys to think that they're going to be looking out for the even with Qatar, bro? I know one day they're or even like right now they're looking out for it seems like they're looking out for the future of Gaza and stuff like that, but then they're gonna make us say, "I'm the haywan," because we deserved it. We thought that they were going like Erdogan didn't do anything for the past 2 years. All of a sudden, I'm gonna come in, help the negotiations go past the finish line.
He held a rally.
Bro, we are the haywan, bro. We are so stupid because we keep wanting a hero, but we look for it in the most stupidest places because we want it in someone who's already established, someone who's already taken power.
That's a great point.
We don't want to do the hard work and raise it cultivate in our families, in our communities, and through education and volunteering and the hard work that it takes to build, an Islamic society. We don't want to do that. We want that moron who took all the shortcuts and then the vote rigging and stuff. And
Brother, we don't want our families and our kids
we want that guy
labeled as extremists, okay? So we're not going to do it for the betterment of the people.
No, bro, you go to Turkey, well, what do you see? Like, you go to Istanbul, like, he's doing so many reforms. So, like, what reforms? People are coming back from Istanbul and saying, like, in Ramadan, you hardly see people fasting. Like, all the food courts are open.
It's almost as if they're upset at you for fasting.
Yeah, dancing.
There's no tarawih happening. There's like maybe a line or two that's happened, that's filled in some of the mosques. It's like,
so the thing is that, look, people,
like,
the major cities are going to be like that, but this is the dilemma, right? The major cities are going to be like that, but the outskirts and the smaller suburban areas, they're going to be religious, but that doesn't have anything to do with Erdogan. He doesn't have control over that. People have their own culture that are actually very religious outside of Turkey, but they're not in those major cities, right? Okay. So you have these pockets. So he doesn't. People try to give him credit for that. He doesn't get credit for that. That's always been that way. Yeah. From the beginning of time, it's always been that way.
But you know, in all seriousness, this I'm serious. This 20-point plan, this buying of TikTok, and according to today's report, Israel paying the influencers and all these
$7,000 a post.
Yeah, that, by the way, MTG reposted as well and said that if this is true, they should be registered as foreign agents. She's gonna be gone soon. But that's
be sure the note that she wrote.
Huh?
She wrote the note.
Yeah.
If she goes missing. Yeah. But anyways,
look, all of these things tell you one thing, that what the past 2 years have done for the cause is more than what anyone has been able to do in the past 75 years.
You're right.
And this pressure has gotten to them where they're doing, even this 20-point plan, they just want this to end. Even they probably know, if they're sincere, which I doubt, but they know that this is not a fair deal.
Yeah.
But they want this to end so people can stop talking about this. Because the longer this goes on, the more and more support that they're losing. Even the Congress and the senators and all those, survey after survey that's coming out, the younger generation, they've lost the support. People are asking questions. I'm drowning in student debt, but why are we sending billions and billions overseas to, like, what benefit are we seeing from this? So this is something that that has never happened before. So what this tells you is every single person, Muslim and non-Muslim, that have been doing whatever they've been doing for the past 2 years, this is the result of that. Whether it's, posting, whether it's sharing, whether it's speaking out, whether it is attending a rally, attending a protest, whatever everyone has done, this is the collective result of that. Is it what we want? What we wanted to have? No, I don't think so. But is it getting us somewhere? I think so. And that's something that I think that should give everyone hope, because as Muslims, most of us, we want everything instant. Yeah. We want issues to be resolved right away. How come I'm making dua, my dua is not answered? How come the Arab leaders are not doing anything? The Muslim leaders are not doing anything? Which reminds me, one of the Palestinian sheikhs, I forgot his name. He said this, I think, a while ago. He was asked a question by one of the musallis. He said, we're being bombed and we're being killed. How come we don't seek any help from our friendly, governments and Muslim rulers? He said, we don't do that because, what did he say? He said, seeking, he said, we don't commit shirk or something along those lines. He said, what do you mean? He said, we don't seek help from the dead. Okay. So, which is so true. Like, what's the point? Like, they've been left for themselves for all this time. But the point that I really wanted to make was this, that everyone who's been doing whatever they can, this is has gotten to
You're
that.
right.
Why do they need to redo the algorithm? Whether it's TikTok, whether it's suppressing the information. Whether shadow banning you on Facebook. I'm sure your show is on that list as well. The show is on that list as well. Instagram, every social media platform that's there, including X. So much so that even to the point that the Grok, they had to retrain that because it started speaking the truth. So, I mean, I think
No, I think you're right. I think no, it is. And the fact that imam or that sheikh that he said that we don't seek help from the dead, it tells you the reason why the Palestinians, especially in Gaza, have given up all hope, and their demeanor is the way it is. They for a long time have given up on everybody else helping them. And
I don't think they've given up hope. They've given up hope in getting help from them.
Yes.
I don't think they've given up hope.
They haven't given up hope.
Not given up hope in the struggle.
They haven't given up hope in the struggle. They haven't given hope up in Allah, obviously, but in people that have repetitively burned them, they definitely know who's who. They've always known who's who. I think even children in Palestine and Gaza, they know who's who. But very, very. Look, Allah changes the world in ways at Allah's pace, however He wants to, and what has happened, like you said, in 2 years, I couldn't imagine the amount of change that's happened in these 2 years. And it's up to Allah, obviously. And for us as humans, it sucks for us to see our brothers and sisters and children dying at this level and with such inhumane conditions. But obviously, Allah has a plan, and no one's more merciful than Allah, right? But the amount of education that's happened in 2 years, I'm telling you, there's no way. I don't think anyone could have accumulated this. Even the people who knew about this situation so well have been re-educated multiple times throughout this 2 years. It may seem that I don't have any hope in what's happening or what's going to happen because of what we've seen from the past, and I think we understand who these people are. We obviously want the best for the people of Gaza, like you said. Whatever they choose, we're going to have to be behind them and help them and support them because the fact of the matter is, the way they went through that, they're never going to forget that.
Yeah.
They're never, ever going to get through that. Like, there's no way that even if it ends instantly, that they're ever going to get over that. They can't get over that.
Every single person in Gaza has lost someone.
Yeah, that's true.
Every single person.
Yeah. And the numbers that have been reported of like 80,000 or 30, that's like a way understatement. It's supposed to be there's supposed to be some new numbers coming out. Jeremy Scahill was talking about that, but he's saying that it was hundreds of thousands. He said, 80,000 and even 30,000 innocents that they're trying to regurgitate. That's just another type of programming. He said it's impossible for it to be 30,000 innocent civilians. Yeah. Impossible. 80,000, there's no way. So it's in the hundreds of thousands. The dilemma is that, Israel has a really nice, evil way of making people think that those are Hamas numbers. They keep repeating that over and over again. When in reality, in the past, they always depended upon those numbers, of the Palestinian Authority. But we'll see.
Every single family, every single household has a mortar in their house. Yeah. But this existed even before the past 2 years. The past 2 years just added on to that.
Yeah. This is just astronomical.
People should understand that this did not start 2 years ago. Yeah. This has been ongoing for 76, 77 years now. Yeah. And every single one of them have paid the price. They continue to pay the price, and they will continue to pay the price until the objective is reached, which is end of the occupation.
Yeah. And since we're talking about the flotilla now, I guess, can we, just for the uninitiated, can we just let them know what the flotilla is about? Because there's still some people who aren't really sure, in just a concise manner. What is the flotilla?
Well, that's a global Samud flotilla, Sheikh. Yeah. Global Samud. It's sailing out of the Bahr al-Abyad al-Mutawassit. That's the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah. You have to speak in the Sheikh's language, or else you won't understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Mediterranean Sea?
Mediterranean Sea, yeah. Go ahead, so
that's a long word, bro. Why such a long
it has
word?
To be descriptive.
Don't they have Abyad, Bahr Abyad.
It's not indigenous, to them, so they have to make it a descriptor rather than a word for it.
Such a mouthful, dude.
It is.
It took me so long to practice that.
Hey, at least you're getting practice. But anyways, can we talk about the flotilla? You're distracting me too because I got ADD bro.
All right. So the Global Samud Flotilla, as we were just talking about it, is a convoy of many, many ships that are going through the Mediterranean Sea on their way to Israel. There's famous activist by the name of Greta Van Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
Thunberg. She's in one of these as well. She's an internationally known activist, as many of you guys already know. It along its path, it was also met with some protection with people, warships from Spain, and Italy. Italy's warships had to turn around because they didn't want a confrontation with Israel, so they basically turned around and went their own way. But a number of these ships have been intercepted by the Israeli military as of today. But there are many ships still on their way there. We have 12 boats that were intercepted today.
They're saying 13 were intercepted, but 30 are still sailing.
30 are still sailing. So it is still on its way. We'll see. This is the reason why this is really bad is, I mean, it's good for the people of Gaza, but it also throws a pie in the face to Israel and makes them look bad. It's just like how remember how we were talking about the British blockading. Yep. Imagine the Ottomans just like sneaking through help and support. It shows to the people that whose will you're trying to break. You're trying to break their spirit. It shows to them that the world is on your side, and it shows it really makes you look even worse. As we've seen time and time again, Israel not allowing food to go through, whether it's from Egypt or from them. So, like, because they're saying, right, that's what their thing is. They always say that, the Hamas is using food, smuggling weapons in with the food and stuff. Like, what? This is international activists. They're not smuggling anything in. And you're seeing them already trying to paint a lot of these activists as supporters of Hamas or having links to Hamas, even though they're like white people. Like, they don't have any links to anyone. They're like completely secular people who aren't even Muslim. So, the Israelis are continuing their lies.
There's an exchange that happened between the IDF.
Yeah.
And the leader of the flotilla. I just sent you the link. If you can play that, it's a short exchange that happened between them two.
There you go.
And the flotilla live link, is it still going live?
I think so.
Because one of them got boarded and
confiscated through legal proceedings in court in an active war zone. If you continue and attempt to breach the naval blockade, we will stop your vessel and act to confiscate it through legal proceedings in court. You bear full responsibility for your actions.
Say that we are entering an active war zone. You're saying that we are entering a place where we are committing war crimes. This is against international law. Once again, the International Court of Justice made a provisional ruling that any attempt to hinder a humanitarian mission to Gaza is prohibited by international law and is complying with the request to make you accountable for the crime of genocide. The International Criminal Court has your Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu under an arrest warrant for the crime of starving children and starving people to death, using starvation and famine as a weapon of war. Therefore, it's our moral duty to continue sailing. It's our moral duty to refuse any attempt of an occupying force to control humanitarian aid for the Palestinian people in Gaza, who have the right of their sovereignty, who have the right of their self-determination, and to control their own borders. Therefore, we do not recognize you as a legitimate agent to control any attempt to bring aid to the Palestinian people in Gaza. We request you to stand down, to do not commit another war crime among so many that you've been committing, and to stand down. Do not engage with our peaceful, non-violent, humanitarian solidarity mission for the Palestinian people in Gaza. I advise you again.
Very thorough.
So that's Thiago Avila, member of the Global Samud Flotilla.
Where is he from? Spain? Where is he from? Do you know?
I imagine it's Spain or Portugal. It's got a Latin
Yeah.
last name.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was very, very well said. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen to them, bro. So on YouTube, there's a few channels that are on YouTube that are showing the live feed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's
Hang on, we got another guy here. Israeli Navy just intercepted the Global Samud Flotilla waters. According to Israeli officials, a blockade may be enforced by a combination of legitimate methods and a means of warfare.
One of these ships was called the MV.
My name is Greg Stoker. I'm aboard the Veterans boat attached to the Global Samud Flotilla. We are currently 70 to 80 nautical miles off the coast of Gaza. We are being approached by 10 to 12 naval vessels.
So back in 2010, a fleet of 8 ships were headed on a mission to Gaza with the explicit goal of delivering humanitarian aid. And one of these ships was called the MV Mavi Marmara. And before it could reach Gaza, Israeli commandos raided the Mavi Marmara in international waters. The assault ended up killing 10 activists and injured dozens of others. And once again, the ship was carrying humanitarian aid and more than 600 passengers. And 3 years later, in 2013, Israel apologized for operational mistakes in the raid. Yep, just one of their classic operational mistakes that we've come to know so well, where people die. And as was just reported as of several hours ago, that Israel's Navy has just begun intercepting the Global Samud Flotilla that is headed for Gaza. Godspeed to everybody on board.
My name is Greg.
So I recognize this guy. He's been on this Greg. What's his name? Greg Stoker.
I don't know.
Stoker. I'm
Greg Stoker. Yeah, he's been on quite a few of these missions. It seems. Are you familiar with him?
I'm
No?
not familiar with him, no.
Okay, I think I saw him on Twitter or something.
As of their last update was 43 minutes ago, and they said they are just 46 nautical miles away.
Wow.
Is nautical mile is the same as the regular mile?
I think they're close to
It's a little
it.
different. It's just because on water is different. Slightly different. But I think, man, how many ships did they say there were? As right now, 30
Mm-hmm.
on the flotilla? And how many have been occupied?
So Greg Stoker's. Hang on one second.
I say to every time I stand in front of these fucking clothes.
Oh, sorry guys, kids. All right, so he just posted here saying 2:50 a.m. local time, Israeli Navy trying to spray us with skunk water.
Ew.
Still in international waters. Wow. These
They try to make everybody's life unbearable.
no, but
even
they,
on water.
They love throwing. What were they doing? Like in protests, they were releasing rats and stuff into the protesters. Skunk spray was also another thing that was commonly used. I'm talking about in America. There were Israeli activists were deploying these really sick ways of disrupting protests
Yeah.
and causing just using these diabolical ways to make people's life miserable.
That's what they are, bro.
I bet you they would shoot them if they could. Even peaceful if they weren't if no one was watching, that's what they would do.
I think we're gonna find out in the next couple of hours because 46 nautical miles is like 52 miles,
Yeah.
and if that's how close they are, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. So the Zionists have also acquired TikTok since our last episode. They have taken up a large share of TikTok through one of their biggest Zionists, multi-billionaires, Larry Ellison. I think he's the richest man in the world right now. He's a founder of, or the CEO of Oracle. What else? Like a bunch of other companies, right?
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
15% by the Abu Dhabi royal family.
No. What else does Larry Ellison own? He owns like Paramount as well, right?
I don't know what all.
Or his son does. I don't know. But these guys are already...
It's basically a stranglehold on the flow of information that they want to have. That's all it is.
It's insane because it's not just social media. It's Oracle, which is very large database company for those who aren't in IT.
Yeah, he owns a significant stake in Tesla. Lanai Ellison purchased 98% of the Hawaiian island in 2012 and lives there. Hotels and real estate in Hawaii, Malibu, Indian Wells Tennis Garden, Paramount Skydance, like you mentioned, luxury yachting, philanthropy at its best. Oh man!
Wow. So their
money talks.
The game is to control people, control media, control what we consume, control our thoughts. This is why they're so desperate as well to upload our being, our psyche, or into the internet. They're obsessed with this, with like Neuralink and stuff like that. They're trying to upload our humanity into a fake world online so that we can exist there and we don't have to be in our physical bodies anymore. Where they make up the rules, they make that world, the illusion and the heaven that world gives. It just seems like something that Dajjal would do.
I was just gonna say that.
Right?
Yep. This is Jannah. This is Jahannam, bro.
Like, why would you want to be in the real world? Be in this fake world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
It's for the refined. It's for the high class. Backwards, archaic people want to live in this world.
Yeah. So I don't know. What? How do you? I mean, I think you just keep doing what you're doing. Keep commenting. There's only so much they can suppress at the end of the day until the mask is off.
It's off.
What they're trying to do is just too late. It's
it
one
cannot
thing.
be unseen. What the world has seen cannot be unseen.
100%. Really good point there.
But the flotilla thing is just such a thorn that this 20-point peace plan is trying to be made, but then you have these people on international waters, and that's going to make just that little thing. I mean, it's a really big thing. It's a big sacrifice, but compared to millions of dollars that are being put into pumping rebranding of Israel, I think that flotilla, like, we can't undermine the value of that. How you have all these elaborate plans taking place, but the flotilla, this very basic primitive way of getting food in, primitive for our time, to getting food into Palestine, to Gaza, is still showing what the world really is happening. I mean, I'm glad I can't forget this guy's name. I forget this guy's name, but the way he was speaking with the Israeli forces, this was really beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't see that before. I don't know. When was that
It
released?
just today. Today.
That's so
I
beautiful.
mean, but look, people should understand what's the goal of the flotilla.
Yeah.
They're trying to do the bare minimum that any human being has the right, which is food. That's what they're trying to do, is to provide food for the people who are dying, who are being. It's a man-made famine. They're using food as a weapon. To starve the population, and their goal is to
to show the world that they're not allowed to stop them.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to stop them, and they're threatening them.
Yeah.
Why are you threatening us? We're trying to give human beings food.
You know, when the flotilla was first happening and it was like coming together, I'm like, oh, why are you doing this? My thinking was different. You know, like when you bring someone to your house, you want to show them, like your house and stuff, but they've already Googled your house. Like sometimes people come over to your house, they already, like, you're showing them your new house or something, and they've already Googled it, and they already know exactly what it looks like and how much you bought it for, blah, blah, blah. And they're acting surprised. And and it's like, sometimes you're doing these shows, and you're like, we know what's going to happen with this flotilla. Like, we know exactly that the Israelis are, but it still needs to happen, even though you know exactly what's going to happen with it. It's because if you didn't do it, then there's nothing to indict them against.
Yeah.
You know, so one of the things is, like, sometimes we have to maintain our outrage about this, because this should not be normal. We have to keep being outraged about something that we know that is completely expected from them, because this is not normal. Human beings are not like that. It's not about Zionism. This is about humanity. It's not supposed to function this way.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Even though there were instances, like we've mentioned, with the British and stuff in the past, but humanity is not supposed to be this way. And we have to. We can't just. Yeah, well, there goes those Israelis again.
Impunity.
You know, what did you expect? You thought your flotilla was going to go? No, I mean, we know that it's going to, and it's, you know, these are all incriminating evidence that's being piled up against the Israelis.
Very true.
You still have to try.
They told these guys on the flotilla, if you're coming here to deliver just the food, give it to us, we'll give it to them. Well,
such mind games, bro. No,
listen, the stupidity of it. They're coming with the food because you're starving them. That's why they're coming in the first place. And you're telling them, no, give it to us, we'll give it to them. No, they're coming because you're not doing it.
But the games they play, these mental games they play, they find every opportunity to play these games. Oh, we'll give it. It's the same thing. Jeez, bro, you're literally dealing with some crazy narcissists, like, all day. This is what they do. But anyways, the world can't unsee this, like you guys said. It's impossible.
They cannot unsee it. They're not going to forget it. They saw the reality all the past 75 years. They thought this Muslims are just crying all the time. You know, the troublemakers and all of this. But now they saw the brutality of what they've been going through for the past 75 years. And this is going to come to an end. Oppression is never going to last. It's going to come to an end sooner or later. But it's going to. It
wasn't even just about that was uncovered. APAC, the whole everything, the whole intricate system.
This government, this country's government, is controlled by a foreign entity. Yeah. That's become clear to anyone who has, any ability of any sort of critical thinking, can see that and understand that now.
Oh, and then the blackmail operations that they've done with the Epstein. It's all happening, like, it's almost too much to wrap your mind around. Like, how much have they infiltrated society? They're saying that even prostitution rings all across the country are all controlled by the Israelis. That they have dirt on everyone.
But Kash Patel said there's nothing there to see for the Epstein files.
There's just 2 minutes missing. That's all it is.
If the ICE people came, by the way, they came in our neighborhood over here.
Get the hell out.
Yeah, a week ago or so. Yeah, our Congress representative or whatever, she was out on the street telling people to stay inside. It was wild. Like, my town is even one of the bigger towns in this state, and it's one of the smaller ones. And
I was just gonna ask about ICE. I thought it was a joke, but
So, if you're, like, under threat by ICE, all you say is, like, hey, relax, I'm in the Epstein files.
That's a great idea,
dude. That's all you got to say.
That's a great idea.
Oh man.
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay. Can we promote this,
officer? It's okay. I'm in the Epstein file.
Yes, let's promote this idea.
One quick thing I just want to talk about before we wrap it up. What do you think is happening with Pakistan and Shehbaz Sharif and the army general? With have you listened to his speech at the UN?
What did he say?
I mean, well, first he starts off his talk by reciting a verse incorrectly. But at least he made it.
Was it a good effort?
Huh? Yes, it was. Okay. It was. It was a good effort. But then he went on and he praised Trump for helping in ending the war, with India, and also why they nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. It was basically just full on praise. And then, the next day they had a meeting at the White House, some private meeting. So I think there's definitely some stuff that's cooking in the, in the background, and possibly, getting back in the good graces of America, which they were not. And I mean, I think U.S. has shown clearly now between India and Pakistan who they're favoring, even though Modi had held all these rallies for him and he gave him all the hugs that he can and all these things, but it's clearly has not been working out for them.
Yeah. It's the race. I think I clearly see it as a race between India and Pakistan to get in the good graces of America. That's what all this is. That's what it seems like the race is.
I think Pakistan's also failing. Their economy is literally failing. There's people who can't afford basic electricity in their homes anymore, and the inflation.
Imran Khan was responsible for that. That's why he's in jail.
Blame Imran Khan, but blame the Muslim Brotherhood, even though they don't operate in Pakistan. Blame them.
Well, they have Tanzim.
Shahid
They have
Bhussain
Jamaat Islami.
Yeah, no, it's still the Muslim Brotherhood, guys. It's all their fault.
Oh, but what's the goal of the Muslim Brotherhood?
They want to establish Sharia, right?
Oh, so that's why, alhamdulillah, we have one of the more popular YouTube scholars of Pakistan, Mufti Tariq Masood, who recently said that, this concept of Khilafah is, people are being deceived by it, and we should not be talking about this anymore.
Yeah. So, well, ultimately, Pakistan needs a lot of help from outside money.
They're gonna get that. From this mutual pact that they've made with Saudi, they're gonna benefit a lot from there, in terms of financial, support that they're
They've
gonna
already
get.
had that, didn't they? Didn't they have a lot of financial support from Saudi to begin with?
They did, but some of it was conditional. But now it's in the interest of both parties. We're gonna give you aid. We're gonna, give you money, while we have, a commitment from you to support and protect us and come to our defense when we need you.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to use that to, further build on their, the military industrial complex that they have, which is way ahead of many of the Muslim countries,
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that finance has always been one of the things that have held them back from, improving and increasing their capability against their neighbors. Even if you look by the numbers, the neighboring country has, in terms of strictly numbers, they have much more than what they do. Financial.
India and China have much more than Pakistan. That's what you're saying.
No, mainly India.
Yeah.
China was part of this war. Pakistan was just the front. So I think they're gonna get a lot from this, and I think, their backroom deals and all of that, and I think this is one of the things that maybe the West is a little bit worried about. That's why, Trump felt the need to issue an executive order today to reaffirm their commitment to protecting Qatar, because if more and more people join this mutual defense, which remains to be seen, I don't know. But then again, the other side is they're all in the same boat anyway. So
I just find it funny when you see some of these people who are very anti-Khilafah, anti-unity. They laugh at people like, oh, look at him, he's a Khilafah head. But then they're applauding, cheering, like, oh, Muslim countries coming together, working with each other. MashaAllah. I'm like, what? Whose side are you on, dude? Some of these guys, some of these people are just absolute morons, and some of them are snakes. They want to use.
It's a good blend of both of them.
But a lot of them are people who are benefiting from the status quo, the establishment.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of money. They have a lot of relationships, and because they're people who don't have any skills in life. They all they have is their skill is being what's it called, just leeching on to people. They're like a parasite. They're like a parasite, just feeding off of their host and just parroting whatever they want to say. That's
I
what
like
they're.
that you said it. This is very nice.
You like it, huh?
I'd like it a lot. I think we should end at that point because
Mashallah.
anything less would be uncivilized.
All right, brothers and sisters, help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks. Make sure you throw a comment in the comment section below and like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. That's our show for this evening. Thank you all for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
I want their leader brought here. I want him brought to me. I want the revolution crushed.
هل تريد أن ترتاح يا شيخ؟